And then this thing about him sleeping at a fan's house? What the actual fuck? Hello, Bravo bosses. This is the Bravo Investigator Podcast. I am your host, Dana. And on our Monday Reality Roundup, we are talking about The Valley, Summer House, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, Southern Charm, and The Real Housewives of Atlanta. So happy Monday. I hope everyone had a great weekend. It was actually really nice for me not to record on a weekend. Like I used to always record on, yeah, both days of the weekend pretty much. But now that this is a Monday to Friday show because I am unemployed, I figure, you know what? I can take the weekends to rest, which is kind of nice, except for my Patreon, obviously. But yeah, today is day 6 in terms of business days of me being unemployed. And I do have to say, I finally feel a little bit better today, despite all the chaos behind me and the fact that I'm wearing a makeup hairband. Hello to the YouTubers. Please follow me on YouTube. Subscribe to my new YouTube channel. I have linked it in the description. So Monday Reality Roundups are still video as per usual. So don't worry, not that much has changed. But yeah, this is day 6. The weekend was bad. I'm going to be honest. The weekend was bad. I stayed in bed till noon. I cried all day. It was bad. But today has just felt a little better. I don't know why. I don't feel any more hopeful necessarily, but at least I am getting through the day. And what sucks is I can't even numb it with food or alcohol or anything like that because I'm trying to save money because I don't have any. So, I am just watching, well, I'm watching OC from the beginning. Okay, you guys, and I'm actually on season 11, I think. And I have not been watching that in a week. Trust me, I did not watch 11 seasons in a week. I have been slowly catching up with The Real Housewives of OC. But that is the one show that I've never watched from the beginning. So I figured, okay, I'll have that on in the background and I'll do that. I've been doing a lot of content creating stuff. I've been applying for jobs. I have to take my car in tomorrow. Lots of stuff, lots of stuff, right? So I've actually been quite busy and busier than I thought, quite frankly. But it's not even about the being busy. It's not that I was worried about being bored. I always have stuff to do. I just need to make money to live because that is how the world works. So I'm still looking. And if anyone knows of anything, literally anything, I will take an admin job. I will literally do anything. Holla at your girl. All right, well, let's get started with the show. Actually, before that, I just want to remind you guys of what the new schedule is so that you know. So Monday's Reality Roundup, as per usual, will be on my new YouTube channel. Tuesdays is going to be 90 Day Fiance. Wednesdays is Vanderpump Rules, the new Vanderpump Rules, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Thursdays is Southern Charm, and Fridays is The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then for my Patreon babies, you will get your episodes on the weekend, okay? So if you want to subscribe to the Patreon, it's patreon.com/the Bravo Investigator Podcast. $5 a month gets you 4 extra podcast episodes a month, ad-free episodes, and early episodes. And then there's also a $10 tier for Bravo CEOs that'll get you everything that you get under the Bravo Bosses tier, but it'll also get you 1 documentary recap a month, a special shout out on the pod, and more direct access to me. So both options are really fun, and they're a great way for you to engage in more of a Bravo community and more of a reality TV community. We have such a good time chatting in there. Plus, if you want to help a sister out financially, I wouldn't mind. All right, well, let's get into the show. We're going to start with the Valley. I didn't think we'd have any news here, but Lala Kent and her bestie, Amber Chylders, are starting a podcast called An Unlikely Affair. So as you may recall, Amber Chylders is the baby mama of Randall's other kids. So Lala was the mistress and Amber was the wife to Randall. And it was many years of them being in strife and having not a good relationship. But for many years now, I want to say at least a few, they have been the best of friends and they always make sure that the kids get together. And I really love that for them because they're going through sort of the same thing. They're dealing with the same baby daddy. They're dealing with parenting issues in dealing with that baby daddy. And so I like that they have a friendship. I think that's great. But this podcast is a little odd. So Lala had Amber on her podcast maybe a month or so ago, and it was good, but I honestly didn't really see the friendship between them, besides the fact that they obviously have this man in common and their children are half siblings. I there was something about them where I didn't really feel like the vibe in the friendship. Like Lala is more outgoing, and Amber just seemed a lot more, subdued and not really willing to spill the tea type of thing. And it's also my understanding that they can't really talk about Randall. So I just thought that this whole thing was interesting because, it's called an unlikely affair. It sort of gives us the impression that they will be talking about everything that happened during the time of the affair, but I don't really know. I mean, Lala says that it will. First, she said that she hates nuance and it won't have any nuance and that she just wants to tell the story. But then she says in this particular situation, nuance is important. So I don't really know. I don't know if we're ever going to get the real story because we never really got that from Lala on Vanderpump Rules. Like she really wasn't allowed to talk about him. So I don't know what has changed now. And if she's going to talk shit about her baby daddy, he is going to clap back, right? Listen, I'm not saying she shouldn't. I want her to. I want to know all the dirty deeds. I've actually heard some really fucked up stuff in terms of her custody battle and things that he did, but I'm not going to allege those things right now. I'm sure you've all heard them in the past, but like, can you talk about him or are you going to get in trouble every 5 seconds? And if you can't talk about him, then what is this going to be about? I mean, they talked about, so they did like a little 16-minute, I guess, like teaser to give us a taste of what it's going to be about. And they're definitely going to be talking about parenting, co parenting, parallel parenting. But Lala did also say they're going to talk about the affair. So I kind of want to know, yeah, what happened during that whole time. I also want to know the trajectory of Lala and Amber's friendship. So obviously they hated each other at the beginning, but when did it slowly start to change? What was the moment that made it change? I just want to know about all those conversations. Like, I feel like this could be really juicy if they are willing to spill the tea and give the juice, right? I just have this bad feeling like they're not going to. I don't really know. Okay, let's move on to Summer House because we have a trailer. So we are getting the next season on February 3rd. I am so excited. What I think I'm going to do is actually play the trailer. I didn't think that I was initially, but I think, there's enough like words behind it. You know how sometimes it's just like a lot more like sound than there is like actual like speaking and stuff. But I think there's enough words behind it that it will be worth listening to. So let's do that.
Like I think some of these relationships are unshakable. I feel like I have been trying to take because I be part of the hold you right because they feel like you really you are my best friend, and I want you to be my best man for everybody. But in the blink of an eye, everything can change. Oh my God, Roundup! This season on Summer House. Welcome to the Hamptons. We got some new people on the mix. Love it. The bench? Holy. All right, mate. He's still handsome. You're on The Bachelor in Australia. The man who can walk into a room and go out of that with a smile. I'll definitely sleep with you. I want to get a man and make out. What the is going on? I'm loving Spears' energy. Same. You're trying to be more easygoing. Imagine like our engagement photos. You don't care if I make out with you, do you? It's in the works. It might be like catching feelings for her. Oh, look at them flirts. I think Wes is in love with you. Would you ever give him another shot? I do miss you. Yeah, me too. How could I not? I wanted him to stop going out and partying, and he found a career where he goes out late and parties. I played the biggest gig of my life, but Amanda couldn't care less. I don't know what matters to her anymore. I fell asleep. Something's apartment. He woke up at like 6:30 in the morning. That's insane. You know what I have an issue with? Compatibility, chemistry, intimacy. What about that? You need to let this mother know if you treat me this way, I am leaving. He's given up. I feel like I'm like 3 seconds from like total combustion. It's your family and you're making decisions together. You're losing my mind. And here you are making our problems again the whole group's problem. Oh, fill the out. You, Carl. See? Yeah. You that you loser. Fighting Carl? No, guys, he's not okay. This is too much for me. I just want to eat shrimp and die alone.
Okay, first of all, going back to the original theme song, fire idea. It's funny because when Madison and Austin were on Watch What Happens Live and they were doing this like the beef between like the Summer House cast and the Southern Charm cast, and they had to come up with all the reasons why their show was better. And one of their reasons was they have a better theme song. And Andy was like, do they even have a theme song anymore? Because they don't. It's been like since season 3 or something since they've had a theme song. So that was the OG theme song. Okay, like so much to unpack there. Okay, let's start with Carl. We obviously know he's in like a much better place. He's opening Soft Bar, and that's going to be happening this season. But it also looks like he gets in this major fight with Kyle. And I'm betting it's about Amanda and the way that Kyle treats Amanda. And, I'm sure that they're fine to this day. Like, obviously, Kyle has been there by his side for the Soft Bar opening and all those things. But I'm betting you that Carl just got really pissed off with the way that Kyle is treating Amanda and has always been treating Amanda over the years. Let's move on to Kyle and Amanda. So, like she said, she wants him to be home more. She has been very clear about what she needs in this partnership. She needs quality time. Just like Ariana said to Tom, what I want is quality time. I am telling you what I want. And what did Kyle go ahead and do? He got a job as a DJ where he's out until like 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. So that is a big deal in their relationship. And the nerve of him to sit there in the trailer and say shit like, I just had the biggest gig of my lifetime and Amanda doesn't care. Amanda wants a 40-year-old husband who's going to stay at home with her and not going to go party all night. And then this thing about him sleeping at a fan's house, what the actual fuck? But the actual, like, the way it's sort of set up in the trailer, it makes it almost look like it's a pickup scene for like after the fact, almost like when Paige had that pickup scene after she broke up with Craig. Like, that is absolutely not okay. You are a married man. You should not be going to fans' houses, let alone sleeping there. That is insane. And something came out recently from Dumois, it was yesterday, saying absolutely positively that Amanda and Kyle are living separately. Then Amanda actually ended up posting a video confirming it, but then it turned out to be a joke. So she was like, hey guys, I just want to confirm the rumor that Kyle and I are living separately. This is my new house. And she's in like this tiny little, I don't know if it's like a little Christmas house, a little dog house, like inside the house. She's like, this is all I can afford, but I've really decorated it. It's really cute. And then Kyle made a similar video where he's like trying to get into her house. And she's like, no, stop. This is all I can afford. And it's adorable. They didn't deny it, but they've also like been doing ads in the same apartment, but who knows when those were filmed, right? I mean, Dumois is usually spot on when she's like confirming something, but then why would Amanda make a video like that, right? I mean, Kyle and Amanda have had issues for a long time. Oh, one other thing I want to say that I really liked about the trailer is how they really jumped back in time to all the way at the beginning, or even Kyle and Amanda's proposal, just the way that these friends have been friends for over 10 years. And I really like the nostalgia factor of that in the trailer because, this is the 10th season, so it is very special. But I don't honestly see a future for Kyle and Amanda long term. And I feel really sad to say that because I like them both individually, but they're just not willing to meet each other's needs, right? And it's always been that way. It's not like anything has changed. These are the same needs and wants that they both have already had. Yeah, Kyle, you're not compatible because you want somebody who wants to go out and party with you, and she wants someone who's going to stay home with her. And she's always been that way, and you've always been that way. And this makes me so sad to say, but a divorce is imminent. Like, it's obvious that a divorce is imminent. It's just really sad, right? What else did we have in the trailer? Oh, West and Sierra and Jessi, another triangle again. So this time we've got Jessi flirting it up with Sierra over and over again, like he's done before. But it seems like Wes is pretty jealous this time. And then Jessi like flat out asks him, like, can I make out with her? And he's like, oh, is that like a thing that's going to be happening? And I don't know like the sequence of events or anything, but I don't know if then he starts flirting with Sierra after the fact, like after he gets worried that Jessi is going to go for it. So you see them, like, you see his foot like touching her leg, and then you see her saying like, I miss you, and he's like, I miss you too, how can I not? And it's like, girl, it's hard though. It's him because he shouldn't be giving her that if he's not going to give her everything. Because same thing, you know what she wants. If you're not willing to give it to her, then leave her the fuck alone, quite frankly, right? I don't want to see her go through another summer of heartbreak from another one of these like fuckboy guys. And then we have like a few new people. They showed them like pretty like sparsely, so we didn't get to see them all, but Carl kisses one of them in front of Lindsay and she's like super excited about it. So that's great. I honestly thought this season was going to suck because there was no leaks and nothing came out about it. But after having watched the trailer, I am jazzed, I am seated, and I cannot wait for February the 3rd. Like, there is no better show on Bravo than Summer House. There really isn't. No matter how old these people get, they can always still bring it. You know, I will watch Kyle Cook in a nursing home called The Home. I will. I'll watch it. Okay, let's move on to the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives because there's a lot of news here. So last week we found out from Jessi what Fruity Pebbles meant. And then Demi did an interview with ET, which was weird. I watched it. It wasn't very long. It was about like 20 minutes or so. And basically the interviewer, it wasn't Bryce Sanders, actually. It was somebody else who I've never seen before, but was asking her like, you know, how do you feel about disclosing that to the world? And was that your intention? And then you made a joke about it after the fact with Brad, and then you made another joke about it on Thanksgiving. Like, how are you feeling? And she's just like, yeah, you know, this was like a personal thing between my husband and I. She actually says that there was enough acting out of what the Fruity Pebbles was in like the previous seasons of the show. And for some reason, none of us picked it up. Yeah, because nobody thought it was like Brett drinking your piss. Nobody would think that. Nobody would come to that conclusion, no matter how much you acted it out. So, no, that's why none of us figured out what it was. She kind of just plays cool and does the whole like media train thing where she's like, you know, I would have preferred if that didn't come out, but it did. And it was a private moment between my husband and I, only happened once, never happened again. And yeah, like Brett's kids are fine with it. They don't care about what happens behind closed doors. They just care that we're happy, yada, yada, yada. So it was basically like her just trying to like smooth the waters and make the whole thing go away. But we all know that she had posted a story right after Jessi had said this and was like, how dare she? And this is private moments that were being disclosed to the public and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, the girl's crashing out. The girl's clearly crashing out. And I don't know if the best thing to do is to just keep doing the media rounds. It didn't hurt. Like, it obviously didn't hurt. I just don't want to hear anything else about Fruity Pebbles because it is so gross, right? Now, Jessi ended up posting after the reunion, which aired last week, which I did cover on the Patreon if you guys want to check that out. So this is something that she posted about Demi. She said, "This is the moment my friendship with Demi ended. She used my trauma to make it about herself and then tried to shame us for not believing her on top of it. Last year when Connor shared his trauma, I wasn't like, me too. I let him have his moment. Demi made it all about herself, and that is not a true friend, especially because I've had many behind the scenes conversations with her about her past, and there is nothing there. She just thinks something might have happened. And what she did to Chase and now Marciano, this seems to be a pattern." I have to agree. And I hate that this is happening because, as we all know, I believe women, but this woman is making it really difficult to believe, right? Like, she's saying a lot of things and she's changing her story. And that does happen. That happens all the time. But we know that she is elaborating or making the story more elaborate than it seems to try to save face in some respect. And she's making it worse and worse. And it's creating more and more of a snowball effect. And she's losing people at the end of it. Like, I was listening to a podcast today, I forget which one, that said she should take a break next season. And that's a good idea. I don't disagree, right? I think she needs, you know, I think she's embarrassed herself enough with a lot of the things that she's done. And I think she needs to take some time to look inwards. You know, maybe she has been through some things. She has said that, you know, on the reunion. I don't know if that's true or not, but maybe she needs to take some time in therapy and sort of figure herself out, because I don't think that this show is good for her or good for her marriage, quite frankly. In other, even worse news, Marciano is now suing Demi for defamation. So, you know, because she is constantly saying things out there that he sexually assaulted her, and then she's going further and further into details about that. I mean, most recently, she said that he groped her genitals, and then he like freaked the fuck out about that. So I'm going to read you guys this article from People that came out. It says, Marciano Brunette sues Demi Engelman for defamation following sexual predator claim. This suit alleges that Engelman used her airtime on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives to falsely accuse Brunette of sexual misconduct. Need to know. Vanderpump Villa's Marciano Brunette is suing Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Demi Engelman for defamation, according to court records viewed by People. In the suit, Brunette claims that he and Engelman shared a consensual kiss, which he alleges Engelman reframed as sexual assault. The suit also names the production company behind Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, claiming it had reason to believe Engelman's allegations were false. Marciano Brunette has filed a lawsuit against Demi Engelman, accusing the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star of making defamatory accusations of sexual misconduct, both on social media and in the hit Hulu TV series. Attorneys for Brunette filed the suit on Friday, December 5th, alleging that Engelman used her platform as an influencer and television star to falsely accuse him of sexual misconduct, according to the complaint viewed by People. The suit alleges that Engelman and Brunette shared a consensual kiss while they were both appearing on the Bravo reality series Vanderpump Villa. That's not Bravo, that's Hulu. Ooh, that's a mistake. The suit alleges that as her storyline on Mormon Wives developed, Engelman reframed the obviously consensual interaction as one of the sexual misconduct and then as sexual assault. Throughout the Hulu series' third season, Engelman repeatedly accused Brunette of unwanted touch. In a statement shared exclusively with People on November 20th, Brunette vehemently denied Engelman's allegations. I want to be absolutely clear. I am taking this matter extremely seriously. This is the most difficult situation I've ever faced, and the allegations against me are not only entirely false, but profoundly damaging. I remain committed to addressing this issue fully and transparently, the statement to People read. Brunette's suit further alleges that he and Engelman stayed in contact for months via calls, FaceTimes, texts, invitations, and even location sharing. He also claims that he shared FaceTime calls with one of Engelman's children. Yeah, what the fuck about that? One of the complaints includes screenshots of her friendly text messages allegedly sent between the two. In one message, Brunette claims that Engelman encouraged him to come out and do ketamine before sharing that she was saying a prayer for you that any negative energy will leave you and your home and sending all the love and positive vibes your way. In a statement provided to People, Brunette thanks his supporters for their love and support during this time. Sexual assault is an incredibly serious matter, and I will not hesitate to pursue legal action against anyone who harms me or attempts to damage my name in pursuit of fame or fortune, the statement reads in part. Also named in the suit is Jeff Jenkins Productions, the production company behind Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It alleges that the company had reason to believe that Engelman's claims about Brunette were false and that it aired them anyway. That's interesting. It built major storylines around Engelman's claims, republished her sexual predator statements, and aired the allegations in a way designed to maximize impact while cutting Marciano out and denying him any meaningful opportunity to respond, the complaint alleges. Production did so despite obvious reasons to doubt Engelman's account, including inconsistencies, delays, and facts known to production that undermine the claims. People has reached out to Engelman and Jeff Jenkins Productions for comment on the suit. The suit claims that Engelman didn't begin characterizing the incident as sexual assault until months later, shortly after he shared an Instagram story post seemingly referencing the incident. In the video, he claimed that he had been uninvited from a Hulu event because a 30-year-old Mormon's wife scared, I'll tell her husband the truth. As was depicted in an episode of Mormon Wives, Engelman fired back, alleging that Marciano wasn't invited because he's a sexual predator that can't keep his hands to himself. The suit also alleges that Engelman lied and suggested that Marciano had sexually assaulted others, commenting on Instagram that she was anxious to see how many other women come forward. I know without a doubt that I'm not the first. In the suit, Brunette is seeking unspecified financial damages along with a narrowly defined injunction that would prohibit Engelman and Jeff Jenkins Productions from repeating and republishing any statements found by the court to be defamatory. Okay, that's interesting. To sue the production company, I mean, it's murky, you guys. Like, it's murky. To say, like, oh, you shouldn't have aired her statements when, like, I mean, to say I'm not going to air a woman's statement saying that they've been sexually assaulted, right? Like, that would be a little murky on the side of production, I would think. I would think if they didn't air that, then Demi would probably be the one suing them now. To allow him to respond, I mean, again, that's a bit difficult because in the situation with Jessi and Marciano, she was still willing to engage with him and talk to him. And I think by the time that Demi was making these allegations, that wasn't a possibility. So I don't know how he would have responded except giving him like maybe his own confessional or something. It's really murky because to say that you guys should have known that her statements were false. I mean, I don't have all the information, right? I don't have that in front of me. I don't know what he believes to have in front of him or that he believes that production has in order to discredit what she says, enough so that they shouldn't have aired it. That's going to be a difficult one. Honestly, I'm not saying he shouldn't be suing her because she is lying, but this is a difficult one. To sue someone for defamation for saying that you sexually assaulted them when there never is proof of sexual assault either way, then it's just, I mean, if she wants to say now that he groped her genitals and did that off camera where no one saw, then to sue the production company is just like a difficult thing to do, or to sue anyone is a difficult thing to do because there is no proof of it either way. Now, We recently heard that Whitney Leavitt, I don't know how to pronounce her last name, Leavitt or Leavitt, will now be performing in Chicago as Roxy, which is super exciting. She's following in Ariana's footsteps, and that is like an amazing, great role for her after Dancing with the Stars. But you know who didn't think so? Nick and Natalie Viall. And they are getting absolutely roasted on the internet for their opinion on this. So basically, they were like mom shaming Whitney. It was pretty wild. So Natalie was sort of saying, like, she has like three kids, right? And they're all like pretty young. And so she was in LA for months and months, being like so busy with Dancing with the Stars. And now she's going to shift her time to New York and she's going to be so busy with Chicago. And I'm sure that her children have schedules. So, how is she going to make sure that she has enough time for them in her parenting when she's going to be so busy? And the internet lost their fucking minds because, first of all, she has a husband, okay? And it does seem that they're all traveling together in order to do this and make this work. And nobody would say this to a man, right? They would like applaud a man for being like, look at all the things that you can do. So if a woman is trying to reach her full potential and obviously be providing for her family, because look at all of these big wins that she's getting. This is going to be her for her family at the end of the day. So if her husband is going to basically be taking on a full-time parenting role, then what's really the difference? Also, I'm sure there are other people in Chicago who have children. Okay. So it's really no different if you think about it. So it's really just wild of them to say this. And I know the only reason they said this is because they are jealous. There are only a few people that they are jealous of. It is just the few that they did not have on their podcast. So it's not that Whitney didn't want to come on their podcast. They kind of went back and forth with her for a while. She wanted to appear on her own, and that was in season 2 of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, where she barely spoke. So Nick Viall thought, like, I don't really want to have an interview with just you where you didn't really take up much of the season. And then at the reunion, he was really harsh on her. So at the end of the day, they don't like Whitney. And that's why they're doing this, which is just so like crass and gross for like a young mom who like literally the job that you're at right now, you're at because of nepotism. Okay. And you're not with your kid right now either, huh? So I don't really know why they're doing this. I mean, I do because they're jealous, but there isn't a single person on the planet who agrees with these two because we should be supporting and uplifting women who want to live their dreams, not trying to tear them down and make them feel like they're going to be a bad mom or not an attentive enough mom if they don't spend enough time with their kids and try to reach their potential with work, not obligations, but like work opportunities that they're given, right? Okay, and just a little bit more of Secret Lives tea. So apparently Chase McWhorter, who is the one that used to be married to Miranda, kind of had a thing with Taylor and had like a date with her in the final episode of Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, also sort of dated Layla and is the brother of Mason, who is now dating Layla. He apparently was arrested and charged with cocaine possession. So that's not good. We're still waiting to hear what's going on there. It was a DUI. So he was like swerving between lanes. Man, you're a dad, right? You're a dad. And like these people, right? They are all so young and they are still making so many mistakes. But for all of them, because now they're so famous, it's out there in the world. So, but that's probably a good thing in this sense, because hopefully, they take this more seriously. And, he knows that if there's going to be information about him in the public, then his children are going to be able to see it. And maybe he'll be more likely to, straighten up and fly right if shit like this comes out in the news about him, because, fame comes with its downsides too. Like no one would know about this if you weren't famous, but because you sort of are now everybody knows. So get your shit together, Chase. Okay, let's move on to Southern Charm. And we got a little bit of information on the internets where Taylor and Salley are fighting again. And it's because somebody said online that Salley is giving Taylor energy, which I don't really know what that means. Because I don't really agree. I don't know in what respect Salley would be giving Taylor energy. But then Taylor responded, totally, because I'm capable of manipulating a doctor into cheating on his wife. Oh, and fully dating someone the entire time they were filming this past season, while also trying to hook up with both Craig and Austin. Q, watch what happens live. I'm a girl's girl. I would never do that to Paige. Yeah, it's totally giving Taylor energy. Get the fuck out. I'm like, oh, girl, do not do that. You do not know anything about Salley's life, which is literally what she clapped back. She was like, wild how strangers can confidently state facts about situations they've never been in and people they don't actually know. Let me just say, the rumors circulating online about my personal life are completely false. So I've also seen her say more about this before. The doctor that she dated was well out of his marriage when she dated him. This was her ex-fiance. They worked in the same hospital. This was a million years ago. She does not have a boyfriend. She was not dating anyone during filming. This is just Taylor being messy. And like, Taylor, you're not even on the show anymore. You decided to leave, allegedly. So let the chips fall where they may, right? Just let it. I really don't like how her entire storyline last year was her like coming up with shit about other people because a lot of it wasn't really true and she didn't really have like anything to sort of back her up. Even with like that Page rumor, she even to this day said like, "Oh, I heard it at BravoCon." From who? From who? All right, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And you guessed it, we're going to be talking about Kandi and Todd because there is so much Kandi and Todd news, right? Like she came out recently because there's been a whole bunch of articles. So I'm just going to read like a few article headlines to show you how crazy this is getting. So we've got Kandi Burruss discovered Todd Tucker was talking to other women behind her back before split, had no idea. Kandi Burruss is using Bravo footage as evidence in divorce as she fights ex Todd Tucker over prenup. Real Housewives of Atlanta alum Kandi Burruss, ex Todd Tucker, demands primary custody, questions prenuptial agreement. Like, it's getting fucking wild. She did post a video yesterday saying, like, thank you guys for being there for me and supporting me. I know that I've kind of been going through a lot right now and you guys have been seeing a lot, but I really, really do appreciate all of your support. So I'm going to read you guys one article which shows basically what's going on because it is just like it's sort of turning into like almost like a Denise and Aaron situation. And I hope not, right? Like I don't want either of them to go through this, but it seems like based on these articles that there is like a lot of anger and a lot of stuff that we don't know. All right, so I'm going to read you this one People article. It says new allegations are emerging that Kandi Burruss shocking split from Todd Tucker. Kandi and Todd Tucker have been having marriage troubles for a while now. Kandi was not happy because she found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back, a source tells People exclusively. She had no idea. A rep for Burruss has not commented, and Tucker has not responded to requests for comments from People. The Real Housewives of Atlanta star confirmed to People exclusively that she filed for divorce from Tucker on Friday, November the 21st. Days later, Burruss, 49, hosted an Amazon Live and shared insight into her recent split from Tucker, 52. Right now, it's a pretty crazy time, the singer-songwriter said. She also answered a fan's question about how she's been feeling and candidly shared, I'm going to be very honest with you. I am up and down, according to a video recorded, shared to X. Obviously, going through a divorce is definitely not the easiest thing, she continued. Sometimes you're cool, then sometimes you have your moments of sadness, she added. Burruss said that there are months where she wants to reply to all the online comments. I'm all over the place, she said, later adding, sometimes things just don't work out. It just is what it is. She also said that she wanted to celebrate the couple's two wonderful, beautiful children, son Ace 9 and daughter Blaze 6. I have no regrets. Despite their split, Burruss said that she and Tucker spent the Thanksgiving holiday together as a family just days after they celebrated Blaze's 6th birthday together on Saturday, November 22nd. Back in 2022, during a couples therapy session on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Burruss and Tucker admitted that their busy work schedules had taken a toll on their relationship. Tucker said, we love each other to death, but we just haven't had the time to be happy lately. Burruss added, for me, it typically spawns from something work-related. They also confessed that intimacy in their marriage had declined, with Burruss admitting, it's not as good as it used to be, she said. Not saying the sex ain't good, but meaning we haven't been having sex that much. The pair acknowledged that their increasingly overlapping schedules and busy personal lives have created an emotional distance. The exes met while filming the 4th season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta in 2011 and announced their engagement in January 2013. They tied the knot the following year in April. Their wedding theme was the comedy classic Coming to America after the couple met in Africa. In Burruss's exclusive statement to People, she shared, this is a difficult and emotional time, but my focus remains on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect. I'm stepping into a new chapter, pouring into my work, my family, and my own growth, Burruss continued. I'm grateful to everyone who has supported us throughout the years, and I ask for privacy, grace, and understanding as we navigate this transition with our family. So I hope that they've been together long enough that they can do that because, you know, like she said, they have 2 kids together. The kids are quite young, so they probably still want to celebrate holidays with them and birthdays with them and lots of other kinds of events with them. And you know, I bet this did come down to, you know, being very busy. They've been married for a really long time as well. People grow and change over time. Their priorities grow and change over time. And it could have turned into something like that. But I've also heard other things like they had this open marriage and like maybe it turned into Todd being more interested in like other women that he was in pursuing in the open marriage, right? Because it says that he's been talking to other women, but maybe the women he was talking to wasn't approved of by Candy. Like, I don't know what their agreement was in the open marriage, or if they even really had an open marriage. This is just allegations, right? So I don't really know there, but I do wish the best for their family. I honestly do, because these things can get so overblown and so contentious. Like, look at Kim and Croy. They had such a beautiful relationship. Same show, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Such a beautiful relationship, such a beautiful family. And now the two are ripping each other to shreds every fucking day in the media and to the police, right? So I really hope that it doesn't go there for the sake of their kids, because, you know, they got the two little ones, they got Riley, who we love, and I want to still be able to see them get together as a family. I love when divorced people can still, you know, put their shit aside for the sake of their kids. All right, guys, that is the end of the episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at The Bravo Investigator. If you can, join me over on the Patreon at patreon.com/The Bravo Investigator Podcast. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can watch this episode on YouTube. It is youtube.com/@The Bravo Investigator. And I love you, BBs. I will see you next time. Thank you for listening to the Bravo Investigator Podcast. For more content, head over to patreon.com/The Bravo Investigator Podcast. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at The Bravo Investigator. If you enjoyed the show, leave a 5-star review. Love you, BBs. See you next time.